All right, so there's two teams that I would really like to thank from the jump. Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Rams. Thank you, Los Angeles. You took Jared Goff. You took him to the couch. Carson Wentz might not be a top 20 quarterback right now, but I'll tell you what, he's already in the top 3 of that lump of fucking trash the Cleveland Browns have had since 1999. Oh, the Philadelphia Eagles are 1-0, 29-10 victory over the Browns. Of course, they beat the Browns. Mike Owens and Jeremy Burton are both here. We had ourselves a guy behind center by the name of Carson Wentz making his debut. How'd you guys think he performed tonight or today?
Yeah, I mean, finally we have a guy back there that's making calls at the line of scrimmage, shifting the protection, just doing everything that you want to see from a quarterback. And, the big question going into the game was going to be, how much of the offense were they really going to open up here? With Wentz making his first NFL start and really just being named the starter about a week ago. And it seems like they've really had the whole playbook open. And I think the turning point in the entire game came down, middle of the third quarter when the Eagles were faced with about, I think it was a 4th and 4. They're at the Browns like 35, 40-yard line. And, Peterson had the balls to hand the keys over to Wentz, and Wentz completed a nice pass to Ertz over the middle to get the first down. And then immediately, they go up, and the next play, Wentz fires a dime, to Aguilar for a touchdown. So that was kind of the turning point there. That's when you realize that Wentz really had the whole playbook at his disposal and just did an unbelievable job. So for a first NFL start, really can't ask for much more from Wentz in this one.
Hey, Gary, I heard you switched to Guy.
Oh, man. I mean, I couldn't ask for much more from this kid. It was just so nice to see, the way he, handled his progressions. There was good blocking from the offensive line, and just helped him out. Got, mixed in Matthews, Barner, and Sproles a lot. I noticed on, multiple series that not only did Matthews handle like first and second down, sometimes Barner come in there for second down. And then Sproles comes in. I mean, just everywhere he handled the offense, so comfortable, and the way he could just easily – I mean, the touch he put on that ball to Jordan Matthews on his first ever touchdown throw. We're talking about the first rookie to ever start an Eagles game in several decades. I mean, it's just so nice, as a Philadelphia sports fan that I am, we have multiple franchises here. I know for the past few years you had the Sixers, tanking and coming in. Now Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid coming forward. And now the same year, the way we happen to get a first-round pick for Sam Bradford and have Carson Wentz come in and just be that next step also. It just means so much as a Philly sports fan. And I think we're looking into a bright future for this team as long as we can build the pieces around them. I love what I saw from Carson Wentz today. Just dynamic ability and comfortability with the offense in such a short time. I don't know what else to say. It's just such a great start for a young kid.
22 of 37, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. And those 2 touchdowns, they weren't dimes. They were fucking quarters. He was throwing fucking quarters out there. He was unbelievable. The touch on the touchdowns. Are you kidding me? First NFL start. This guy's coming from the FCS. Everyone doubted him. They're like, all right, so he's not going to get used to the speed of the game. No way. No way. That's not possible. Here he is. He's lighting it up out there. He's throwing dimes and quarters. That's how good he was today. Are you kidding me? The touch to Aguilar. He's making Aguilar look like an all-pro. And then Jordan Matthews and Zach Ertz, these two guys, the way they stepped up today, talking about hiding the deficiencies at wide receiver. If you just keep throwing the ball to Jordan Matthews and Zach Ertz, that seems like a good plan to me.
Yeah, I think that the Eagles really came out with a good game plan on the first drive there, and it actually helped that the Eagles got the ball to start the game because everyone was just so jacked up for the game and for Carson. So the fact that he just got to come out right away and go right at it, and Peterson, really did a nice job of mixing up the play calls. He got some running plays in there to start, and then he kind of got Wentz adjusted by making some short throws to the tight ends. I mean, the one-handed catch by Ertz, it's just an unbelievable catch, but also a really nice throw by Wentz because it was the only place that Ertz was going to be able to make that catch. So good play by both players there. But then to cap off the drive, Wentz just throws great pass to Jordan Matthews. Matthews gets both feet down for the touchdown. And what a way to start the game. And I think that really helped, not only calm Wentz down and, make him realize that he can play at this level, but I think it also helped out Peterson too, because I think that Peterson was probably more nervous than Wentz was heading into this game.
Yeah, all that is so true, Mike. I mean, that first drive, just the confidence that you can build as a rookie quarterback and how efficient he was in that first drive. I think it was something crazy like 4 for 5 for 57 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that was such a great first drive to have. As he gets all this heat for being a 1AA rookie quarterback, but as he always said all preseason, he's playing the same game he's played his entire life. He's been a winner all during North Dakota State. So he's been 20-3 as a starter. And to bring this kid on and to see it on the field, it's just so exciting for Eagles fans here. To see the plays he makes, and he steps up in the pocket when he has to. There was one third down conversion that I thought could have been made. Who's under pressure, stepped up, made the pass. It was a little down, but you can't really hurt him for that. But he still put it, in a catchable position. It's just amazing how we're going to use this guy and mix in the running game. I think it's great for the Doug Peterson offense.
There's a couple things that stood out to me. So you got Wentz throwing the ball 37 times. We're like before the game thinking about, all right, so how many times is Doug going to let him sling the pigskin? So 25 times, 30 times. He threw it 37 times. We got Andy Reid out there. He's throwing the ball 37 times out there. That's crazy for a first NFL start. So Doug Peterson clearly showing confidence in the rookie, and then you got the two plays there, the third down and the fourth down. So Jordan Matthews, the one time he drops the ball, because besides that he was outstanding. 7 catches, 114 yards, and that first dime for Wentz. Oh my God! Anyway. That was amazing. So he the 4th and 4, just a little, flicks it out there to Zach Ertz. They convert the third down, and then right after that, quarter to Aguilar.
Yeah, you talk about Jordan Matthews and Zach Ertz. Those are the two guys that we really talked about heading into the season that we're going to have to, really step up this season. And, they really did just that. I think what we saw from, Ertz today, getting about 6 catches, is what you can expect from him. But, really the big thing with Ertz was, coming up with those the key catches in the key situations. And it really, the biggest one of them all was catching that pass on 4th and 4. It would really turn the momentum in the entire game. And so you got to give it to Ertz for really coming up with some, tough catches today. So good to see really, some of our top weapons on offense showing up to play today. And then it also helped that they were able to run the ball with, Ryan Matthews. So I was really pulling for Ryan Matthews there at the end to get a touchdown, and he did, thank God, because he really worked his tail off all day. and he had a nice game. It could have been better. There was quite a few plays where he just got tripped up, and he was close to breaking a few of them off for a big run. But yeah, I thought it was as far as the offense goes for Carson's first game. I mean, if they're gonna be putting up 29 points, it's gonna be tough to beat them. But obviously, that's not gonna happen every game. But it's good to see him having that ability to put up that many points.
What I saw was, Doug Peterson's, had no restrictions to Carson Wentz. In his first NFL start, there was no let's limit him to this. Let's not do this play formation. Let's not do this one. No, they were no holds barred. Let Carson Wentz, give him the whole offensive playbook. Let him make pre-snap reads. Let him make plays with his legs if the pocket collapsed. These are just things that I was hoping to see. It's a rare situation when you see a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach go into the league together in the same year. And I know we're only playing the Browns, but I mean, this was a great start. From defense and offense, I saw great things. We forced the turnover. We moved the ball on offense, made plays on special teams. We did it all. I mean, it's encouraging. Not booking us to the Super Bowl yet, but this is a good foundation, and Carson's going to take a year or two to progress even more to become his full potential. This kid's only 24. Let's get real here. And what I saw today in the situation he was in company with, very impressive. I'm just so excited. I think we can go 2-0 next week against the Bears.
There is there's quickly been a bromance developing between Carson and I, and he's tugging on the heartstrings. He's getting there, but it's only one game, and it's funny because if you really want to reflect on this at the end of the year, this is what a 16 games. This is the Browns. The Browns are trash. This is how bad they are.
They're horrible.
We saw a glimpse into the good old Browns today. Oh, little safety right over Griffin's head. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, they got a lot of kinks to fix over there on the Cleveland side. That's for sure. They made a couple plays. I mean, Terrell Pryor had a big catch. Corey Coleman had that one in the triple coverage. But Jalen Mills made a couple tackles. He looked all right because McKelvin got hurt. He had a hamstring injury, and he made some tackles. Carroll, even though he gave up that toss to Pryor, he was still in a good position there. So, I thought the defense played well and, encouraging, but it's only the Browns. I had the Browns going 1-15 in my predictions. So I this is a good start because it was the perfect opponent for Carson Wentz to debut against. I mean, Jordan Poyer is their starting safety. He's like a third stringer on any other team. He's terrible. This team is putrid. So we got to remember this and moving forward. But next week we got another bad defense ahead. We got Chicago right around the corner. So another good team for Carson Wentz to play against. But it's only one game. What do you guys think about that? He looked good though. I mean, shit, dimes. No, well, quarters everywhere.
Yeah, I mean it is a Browns, so you got to take that into consideration. But the biggest thing for me was the adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and listening to the game on TV, you could hear Carson, and he was barking. He was barking loudly. So I'm sure that John Gruden will be a big fan of that because John Gruden loves those loud quarterbacks. He always slobbers all over Luck because he loves how Luck calls the plays out. So Wentz is kind of the same way. He's very loud and vocal at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you like to see out of a quarterback. So I think really just seeing Wentz be able to control the line of scrimmage, make the audibles, is really, really clutch. And the biggest one, obviously, was the touchdown to Aguilar. He initially went lined up under center. He adjusted the protection, went in the shotgun, and then he goes back and, throws an unbelievable pass to Aguilar for a touchdown. So, those are the type of things that we haven't seen here for a while, because in chip system, you really couldn't audible. And that's something that like the types of things that Wentz was doing today are things that even if Bradford was a quarterback for this game, I just can't see Bradford doing those type of things. So that's what from Wentz, I think that's a really promising thing, is just seeing how he commanded really the line of scrimmage. So going forward, I mean, that's a great sign.
Wentz is an upgrade to Sam Bradford. He's an upgrade.
Oh,
He can't sling it the way Carson did. Here. All right, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I mean, we've said the whole time, and the number one thing you look for is just being able to make that play, especially under pressure. I mean, Sam Bradford is a total noodle. Okay, he's a noodle. All right, and Carson Wentz is an athletic, big, 6'5", 240-pound man. All right, when
Bear.
Bradford is a noodle, and to get a first-round pick plus a fourth-rounder conditional for Sam Bradford, when we have such a talent like Carson and like Mike brought up, like in his first start. Yeah, he had a couple overthrows. One possible touchdown to Jordan was maybe a hair over, but it was either an incompletion or a touchdown for us. Okay, it was a little tad over. We settled for a field goal. But these are the plays you make, and I can't express more how much I was impressed with his progressions and the way he just went about the offense and the pre-snap reads, doing his little thing here, like, okay, yep, reading the defense, telling the protection what to do, and saying, oh, all right, here, you're good for a post pattern, whatever the case may be. But he's making his pre-snap reads. He's communicating with the wide receivers, setting up these touchdown passes that were on a dime the quarterbacks can't get to. Perfect placement for either an incompletion or a touchdown for the Eagles. Just from a first game perspective, from a 1AA quarterback coming to his first NFL game, from that perspective, I mean, I'm beyond impressed. So excited. We're 1-0. I think Chicago is an exploitable defense. Let's take it to the next level and do it again.
All right, so here's the thing about those FCS quarterbacks. There's been like 5 of them drafted since 1978. 4 of them have reached the Super Bowl. So like they always say, well, they're not in Big Boys League. They can't do it. They can't get to the Super Bowl. It's not true. So there's been some guys, Doug Williams, Steve McNair, notably. So there you go. It can happen, as JP says. It can happen. All right. So here's what I really liked. So the wow plays, because even though it's the Browns, it was tight coverage on those touchdown passes. They were fucking dimes. More dimes.
Oh,
Tight coverage, and the ball placement was impeccable. So that's the encouraging part. Unbelievable. All right, so let's talk about some other guys that impressed. So Jalen Mills makes a couple tackles. I thought that was pretty good. Brandon Brooks was getting on the second level a couple times.
yes.
But Rodney McLeod, he was laying the lumber.
No, he had quite a debut.
That diving in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jeez, I think his debut in Philadelphia might have been just as impressive as Wentz's was. I mean, McLeod, hell of a game. He's out there, laying the wood. And then that one, for him to make that interception was, great. He did, made a great diving catch on it. Really, on that play, too, people are going to give McLeod all the credit, but Jordan Hicks was the guy that initially tipped that pass, so he gets credit, too. There was a double deflection, and McLeod jumped in there and got it. But, yeah, you look at our safeties, really, if they continue to play like that, they're going to end up being one of the the best safety pairs in the league. Then coming into the game, obviously we were all jacked up about our defensive line early on. Kind of took us a little bit of time to get going along that defensive line. We weren't getting enough pressure on RG3, and that kind of allowed RG3 to sit back there and just fire some bombs down the field. And somehow Pryor came up with an amazing catch early in the game. And then Coleman somehow snagged the ball in triple coverage down the field. But as the game went along, especially in the second half, we started to see what the defensive line can do. They started to get that pressure on RG3, and that's when they started to rattle RG3. And then it was only fitting that RG3 decides to get hurt on one of the last plays of the game.
Oh, man. I mean, I wanted us to have – I wanted our receivers and our tight ends to have a good game today because I knew they had nobody other than Joe Hayden, who is even aged a little bit now. But, we had a good day in their secondary. There was one – if I could give a fault to our defense and our coverage, there was one 40-yard bomb plus that was given up. But, it was kind of underthrown, and I think it was a bad play on the ball. I mean, it was literally to start the third quarter. And I got a little nervous for a second, but, our defense held them to a field goal. But other than that, I was seeing consistent pressure on RG3, making him rush out of the pocket, make dumb throws. I think we did a great job. And then, you had the tip drill, obviously, which always comes into play. That was where McLeod got under the ball there and got the interception. But you always got to stay aware. Tip drill worked out for Rodney McLeod there. I think we have the best safety tandem in the league. McKelvin made a couple plays, and it looked like Carroll was the other starter. So they both did an admirable job. I didn't see them give up too many plays besides that one big one to believe it was Corey Coleman. That was all I saw.
Best safety tandem in the league. You're getting feisty, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh, they were impressive. We see, Seattle, they still got those guys. They're pretty good. Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. But, hey, Rodney McLeod, that was a terrific debut from his side. Malcolm Jenkins on the other side, the most underrated safety in the league. No, let him. We'll keep it quiet here in Philadelphia. We don't need to expose ourselves to Malcolm Jenkins. We know how good he is. He's a flat-out stud. We'll keep it quiet on our side. But, yeah, dude, the safeties look good. The quarterbacks, I mean, we'll see, because, McKelvin's injury, we'll see how that comes into play now, because that means Jalen Mills is going to get more snaps, because Ron Brooks, obviously, he's going to play more now. So we'll see how that comes into play, because now behind them, they traded Eric Rowe away, so now they're going to have to rely on, C.J. Smith. So that's the thing to look, we'll see what happens with that, because, when we play the Bears, we'll see how we got to combat Alshon Jeffrey. We got to play him. He's pretty good.
Yeah, and Alshon Jeffrey had a hell of a day today, so that'll be interesting to see how we deal with that. But Ron Brooks, he got one beat on the one play, which should have been a touchdown pass for the Browns. So I don't think we really want to try to rely on Ron Brooks that much. So hopefully McKelvin's injury isn't that bad. But the whole key is, early on when RG3 started to get into a little bit of a rhythm and they were making those bombs down the field, that's because, we weren't getting the pressure with our front four on RG3. And just this Swartz defense, that's what it's all about. You got to get the pressure with your front four. So as the game went along, when we started to do that, especially after that, the safety by the Browns, that's when the defensive intensity really started to pick up. We started to get a lot of pressure on them. And then that's when RG3 started to make some mistakes, started to get sacked. So, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this, all off season, how great of a signing Jim Schwartz was. He brings the Philadelphia mindset to our defense. It's something we've been waiting for since Brian Dawkins left here to go to Denver years ago. I mean, this is just the mentality that Jim Schwartz wants to bring to this hungry defense. This is a team that is in the mix for this division. I don't care what anybody says. 8 or 9 wins could possibly get you in the running for this division. And this is a team that could get 9 wins if, you make the right bounces on defense and special teams. And a rookie like Carson Wentz can develop like he can and make the plays necessary on offense. I don't care what anybody says. This is a team that can make a run for this division. This division's wide open, in my opinion. And what I saw from the defense, Jim Schwartz, did his thing. He made pressure with the front four. We didn't give up a lot of room on the ground or through the air, for that matter. And I think we had an overall great game, and that's why we're 1-0 right now. And let's just keep it running. Next week against Chicago.
Oh, this division is definitely wide open. You can just throw all 4 of these teams against the wall, and one of them is going to stick. So if you can get 8 to 9 wins, you can win this division. This division is a steaming pile of poo. It stinks so much I couldn't even get it out. It's poo shit. It's awful. It's disgusting. Oh my God, I hate watching some of these games. I hate watching the Giants play the Cowboys. I'm not gonna lie. I hate watching these 2 teams play. It's awful. I hate both of them with a passion.
Yeah, I think of what it's really going to come down to is for the division is going to come down to those division games. Whoever can win the most out of division games is probably going to be the one that's able to capture the division crown. So, every team in division really has a shot here, and we'll see what happens. A lot, goes on in the season. Injuries happen and whatnot, so we'll see what happens. But I think anyone's got a shot, and that's a good thing.
Oh, it's a great thing. We're in a terrible division. You can only, hey, if Carson Wentz gets to make a playoff appearance at 8-8, the experience in itself is all worth it. So if they can get to 8 wins and maybe win this stupid thing, because yeah, this is like the NFC West from a couple years ago, where 7-9 won the damn thing. So anything can happen in this thing. I mean, who knows how Dak Prescott's going to play? Who knows how the Giants are going to be like? Like, they haven't been shit since when they won their second Super Bowl, and they signed all these dudes in the offseason. We'll see how they pan out. You got the Redskins, Mr. Kirk Cousins. I don't like that. I don't like them. So fuck them. So we'll see how this division plays itself out.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be right in the mix. I don't see us.
Oh, everybody's in the mix. Like, I can see all 4 teams finishing 7-9.
Oh yeah.
Tiebreakers decide this stupid thing.
You know what? After 10 weeks, I think at least 75% of our division is going to be 5-5 after 10 weeks. And there's going to be a clusterfuck of just mediocrity. And then it's, in my opinion, I think
rolling dice. That's what
it's a roll of dice. And
And let's see if the Eagles are the one that's on top.
who drives at the right time. I don't necessarily trust, Des Bryant and their rookie quarterback. I mean, Des Bryant's been injured a lot. I would trust Carson Wentz and his ability with our what seems to be multiple weapons. Zach Ertz, Jordan Matthews making all kinds of plays today. Dorial Green Beckham being in there a little bit on a few plays, but in the pressure zone. And I think that, I think Carson is just that special kind of talent that he'll just adapt, he'll learn. It's the best of both worlds for God. I wish Teddy Bridgewater the best, but him sending the first round pick to the Eagles for our future, I can't emphasize enough how important that is.
Ginger Jesus is here, ladies.
Ginger Jesus is here.
He has arrived.
We basically got him for, are you ready? Kiko Alonso, DeMarco Murray, a second-round pick, a later first-round pick, and another third and second. I think that's about summing it up because of how we matched up and moved up in the second round this year. It would have been a later, we might be in the 20s this year, but still a first-round pick, not a top maybe 15 or what we would have been, whatever. Nobody can tell that. But either way, the value, I can't emphasize it enough. And to see this kid on this first day, man, as an Eagles fan, it's just, he's got that Philly demeanor. He found out he was going to be a starter in this league, and the starter in front of him got traded while he was hunting in a cornfield, living on a van down by the river. All right, I mean he's just like that Philly kind of mentality. He's everything we want. I wouldn't want him to find out in a club or something, fist bumping against, some whatever. He's dedicated. He's got what it takes. I just feel so great about this rookie. I can't explain it any other way.
All right, so in terms of the draft picks, here's what you're looking at here. So 2017, 2018, the only round you're missing is a second-round pick in 2018. So they've already made up all the draft compensation, basically. But the thing to take into account, too, is that pick with the Vikings and Eagles. Like, the Vikings are going to be picking in the 20s. We're going to be, who knows where we're picking. I mean, if they go 8-8 or something, say something stupid, they would be, what, in the 20s, I guess, because they're in the playoffs. So yeah, it'd be funny if the picks even themselves out. But it's not going to be a great pick. So if you compare it to say last year when the Eagles finished 7-9, they were the 13th overall selection. The Vikings were 23rd, and that 10-pick disparity is like the equivalence of a second-round pick. So you got to think of it that way. Obviously in the later rounds, in the later portion of the first round, it's obviously a little bit tougher because the prospects, they dwindle a little bit more.
Yeah, no, exactly. So the key there, though, is really only getting back all the draft picks, really, except that second rounder in 2018. And the biggest key is having the first round pick next year in Philly. So now we just got to put the pieces around Carson. We know we got the quarterback here for the future, and it's just time to build with them. I mean, we can only go up from here.
Yeah, you mentioned, Mike mentioned having the pick here. We just got notified last month that Philadelphia will be hosting the 2017 draft. So I plan on being there, front and center in April 2017, making our first overall pick. And I thank that to Sam Bradford. It was a no-brainer trade. obviously Frank Reich, Doug Peterson, all the guys on offense felt comfortable with where Carson Wentz was. He's a smart kid. I mean, I feel so good about him, and today's performance only emphasizes that. But just, this wasn't a move. This trade wasn't a move just for this year. It was for the future and future draft picks. We needed to fill this draft gap when we traded up for Carson Wentz. So we didn't have a first-round pick this coming year. Now we have it. So, I can only applaud Howie Roseman for taking advantage of the luck that he was given when Teddy Bridgewater went down. But, he's a smart guy, so he knew this was a no-brainer trade. And I didn't see much of a downgrade from Sam Bradford to Carson Wentz this year.
There's no downgrade. That's myth. There's no downgrade at all. It's an upgrade.
So
Ginger Jesus has landed in Philadelphia, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah,
There's an upgrade. Sam Bradford.
and we're saving how much money? All right, we paid him $11 million, I think.
Part, because we're saving.
We saved the other. We don't owe the other $25 million over the next 2 years. So other than that 11 grand we gave him as a signing bonus just to be competition to Wentz and Daniel. It's a free first round pick and a complimentary fourth. We just made out so well, and it's so great for us Eagles fans to see this first game and see Carson, just the way he seems so comfortable. He seems so comfortable. He looks so good.
It is the Browns.
It is the Browns, but
keep in mind. But hey,
so
it's a little bit of a hint. We'll see how it plays itself out. We'll see, because here's the thing. They have Ray Horton. Ray Horton brings blitzes everywhere, but he's going to face more talented defenses, and that's when we're really going to figure out what he's got. But obviously, a great debut. Shit, man. 22 of 37, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dimes, quarters. He was throwing fucking dollar bills out there. Yeah, that's how good he was. But all right, so let's get into final thoughts right now before we head out. Anything on your mind about this game that we might have missed?
I was just going back. I was looking at Bradford's stats from last year, and he had a quarterback rating of 100 or better only 4 times last year. And Carson Wentz, his quarterback rating was, I believe, 101 today. So, hey,
he's got a fever.
Yeah, he's got a fever, and I think that fever is going to continue. So, the outlook is positive here. If he already has one game of that, 100 plus quarterback rating, and Bradford only had 4 last season. So I think that, we've definitely upgraded at the quarterback position, and it's just a great day here because we know that the future is bright. This season is probably not going to be this season, but I think when we look down the line, at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
This is where, I totally agree with you, Mike. An Eagles fan can be totally positive today. 100%. We just got to hope that, Howie and Jeffrey Lurie made the right decision with, bringing up – what's the going saying? Bring on who knows what they're doing, previous franchises that have been successful. Joe Douglas, I think, can be a successful scout on talent. And, we saw this offseason that Howie did a great job with the trades. Absolutely, hands down, no question. So you hope that the other execs that he hires continues to, build that foundation with the trades that Howie made. Use those assets, use future draft picks. to be successful. And that's what we got to build a team around. He already showed his, aggression in making 2 trades in order to move up from 13 to 2 overall in this year's draft to pick this exact quarterback. And we saw his potential today. Yeah, it was against the Browns, but it was, a legit game. All their starters. There were some rookies in there for them, but this was the perfect first test, I think, for Carson Wentz, and for him to show what he showed us, the ability to make pre-snap reads, make the right touch pass and bullet pass when he needs to, regardless of the situation. I saw everything I needed out of Carson Wentz for a first-time NFL quarterback, and I'm just looking forward to see the rest of this progression go through. He's our starter next week 2, 3, 4, 5, through the bye week and everything. I'm just so excited to where we're at. I hope Carson develops the way we all of our Eagle fans hope he does. And who knows? In this division, it could be wide open. You never know. Ball bounces to you the right way, 1 or 2 games. That could be a swing enough to get you to 9 wins and winning the division. Who knows? We'll see. I'm just so pumped.
Oh, you should be pumped. 1-0, Carson Wentz, Ginger Jesus leading the way. Amazing. All right, so here's what I'll say, because it looks like a great offseason. I mean, shit, all the maneuvering, all the wheeling and dealing from Mr. Howie Roseman, but where he's really going to make his money over the next couple years, you got to draft and you got to build this team around Carson. So you have to surround the Ginger Jesus with his apostles. That's what you have to do. So Howie, you got to get into the draft room. You got to team up with Joe Douglas Hard, and you got to draft some better players than Danny Watkins and Marcus Smith. I mean shit. They get this first round pick, and I don't want another fireman. You got to do better, Howie. So it looks great right now. It's highlighting all of his strengths. Right, the dealing, the maneuvering. He knows how to make trades. He's good with working the cap, but we'll see how he comes up the next few years trying to improve his weaknesses in the draft. So with that being said, we are the Bitter Birds. Mike Owens, Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fedke. Let us know in the comment section below. What did you guys think of Carson Wentz today? Is he the savior in Philadelphia? We're out. Peace.
Later.